Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is Scott Bogman. And we are here live, as we are every day, on our Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel, and brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sports books. So hopefully you download that BetMGM app and use that promo code Leading Off when you do to get the special offers. Everybody loves a special offer, and we got a special show. Bogman Sports is here again. The Welsh continues to have work drama, but he'll be back. Don't worry. He'll be back again on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So the Welsh is not going anywhere. He is fine. Everyone's fine. Everything is okay. And Bogman, certainly we had a big rain out there of the Tyler McGill game. That was a little disappointing to me. I wanted to come in today and talk about that. We can't. No Alex Cobb. So two of our favorite little gimmicks are gone. But I guess we should start with Jordan Alvarez, who homered twice in his return from the Houston lineup. So I hope you had him back in the lineup, everybody, because that's the way you come back after an absence, don't you think, Boggs?
Just murdered that first one too. I mean, it was demolished. So yeah, I mean, look, get him back in your lineup. I had him in one, so happy to get him back and glad for the two bombs. I almost went to that game, but the price difference between going to the Diamondbacks opening day game and going to the AL Champs opening day game, a little bit different, especially when you're, not really thinking too far ahead like me, and I go to look for tickets, and I go, whoa, okay, maybe I'll catch a game this weekend or something. So couldn't quite afford to go to opening day for Houston. It was very, very expensive.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Houston's still a big-time talent team, but, man, that first one, you're right, Alvarez just absolutely crushed that one. He's such a monster, too, at the place. Yeah. Such a big dude, imposing presence, man. I love Alvarez. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's back. And a very bright young career. Speaking of being back, maybe we've got the special sauce. We kind of called out Christian Yelich yesterday on the show, and he hit his first home run last night. I guess he's an avid listener of Leading Off. I can only assume, like many Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are. But, I mean, Bogman, we talked about it yesterday. We were all just kind of down on Christian Yelich, and he goes out there, hits a grand slam for his first home run. Brewers get a big victory. Lauer has a good start. So your thoughts on Christian Yelich? Is this the beginning of a good trend or just a one-off for you?
Rate him. I mean, if you possibly can, if there's someone in your league that is really excited about Christian Yelich after this grand slam, yeah, I mean, it's going to take more than the grand slam, obviously, to get him off your roster if you do have him rostered. But, this is a perfect type of sell high guy. Probably not the exact time to do it, the exact moment to do it right now, but wait for him to look hot for a couple months, trade him, and then, look, anytime a guy's injury prone and stuff, I tweeted this about Buxton the other day. No one believed me, that I don't want to see Buxton get hurt. I'd rather have the guy play 160 games and be the first overall pick. More great players. That's what we want. So I don't want Yelich to get hurt, but if I'm betting on things, you can bet I'm probably going to say that he'll get hurt at some point this year and end up on the IL. So, yeah, I think if he gets rolling, let's go ahead and see what kind of offers we can get here. That's all.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's talk about Wander Franco. He was dealing with a quad issue. He's expected back today, so that's exciting. Also, Fernando Tatis Jr. Doing some light baseball activities, also very exciting. Today, we're going to get Ronald Acuna starting his rehab assignment. Everything's coming up Millhouse. We're very excited here for all these things. Freddie Freeman homers against the Atlanta Braves. Now, maybe we should have talked about this a little more, yesterday because he is facing the Braves. But the one I want to see is the one where he goes to Atlanta. That's the one. That's the one. Like this was
I got with my buddy Xavier, who lives in Atlanta. He says that the Braves are going to boo Freddie Freeman, the Braves fans. I said, no way. He's getting a standing.
No way.
He's getting a standing.
No way. They'll get a standing ovation. They're not going to boo Freddie Freeman. He's going to go out there. They're going to give him a ring. Come on. It's going to be a beautiful moment.
Acuna wasn't there to hug him yesterday after all this, drama that we had before and everything. But obviously a good teammate. I mean, you saw his son go run up to Dansby Swanson and give him a big hug. Like, it's tough to not like Freddie. Freddie seems like a genuinely good dude.
We're fans of Freddie Freeman here on the show. And that's not just good alliteration. That's a fact. Montas gives up 1 run over 6 versus the Orioles. Machado doubles and homers. So we had somebody join the top of the leaderboard on that Machado home run. More to speak on that later. Jose Altuve, day-to-day with a strained hamstring. Keep an eye on that because I think there's a good possibility in this contest tonight that you're going to see some shuffling of the order with Altuve out, which could mean potentially you might get like a Pena or somebody like that hitting at the top of the order. And DFS wise, he's only like 2.8K. We'll talk about him a little later, but keep an eye on that. It kind of stinks because two of the buy low second basemen were Jonathan India and Altuve off to slow starts, and both are banged up right now. So that kind of sucks. And second base is kind of frustrating. But Merrifield off to a slow start too.
Good. I make him a little cheaper. So maybe get in now if you can.
It's a good point. Chad Kuhl shuts down the Phillies before leaving with a hip injury there. So I keep forgetting
you said that
it's
wrong,
still cold.
Joe. It's Cool Chad. Come on. It's Cool Chad.
I'm sorry, Cool Chad. Cool Chad. Everybody knows the Cool Chad. It's Willie Adames.
Willie and Cool Chad. Adames. That's right.
All right, let's talk a little prospects here for you Dynasty nerds out there. Bogman, of course, is the host of our Dynasty football podcast. But in baseball terms, just want to bring up some of these guys here. I know this is kind of a Welsh thing. We'll talk to him about some of these guys later, maybe tomorrow. But Jonah Bride, AA for the Oakland Athletics, off to a great start. He's a catcher. Then you've got Mason Martin, Indianapolis AAA for the Pirates, off to hit a 400, 960 slash with 2 dingers. Not a bad start. So, I mean, it's not like the Pirates have any reason to keep anybody hitting down at AAA. Nolan Gorman, who people have been waiting for a long time at AAA, he's off to a red hot start too. 6 home runs, Boggs, all solo shots, but still 6 home runs, 458, 519, 1208 slash. That's the slash. 1208 is the slugging, boys and girls. It's not the OPS. What do you make of some of these hot starts here for some of these young kids?
You know, it's all, I mean, Gorman is like, he's knocking on the door. I mean, and it's getting louder. You know what I mean? He's hit the doorbell a couple times. Now, bang, 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 bang. He's going to be up pretty soon here, probably as soon as an injury happens in that Cardinals lineup. He'll be coming up. But it's always interesting to see some of these prospects because in terms of developing players, you know, with all of the, and the Welsh would tell you this too, with all these lists that we have and you know, so many experts, there's a lot that changes from year to year with a young player, and a little tweak in a delivery, a little tweak in a batting stance, just doing something new can help someone completely break out. So it's always interesting to see these guys perform early in the season, but it's a long season. So let's see the roller coaster ride of some of these minor league players. It's going to be an interesting one for sure.
The only thing with Gorman is it's the same old deal. He's got 9 strikeouts already too. So in 6 games. So he's just a strikeout machine. So in points leagues, it's like if he's not hitting home runs, he better I mean, like it's tough.
He is a, you know, 2022 MLB player. So he hits a lot of dingers and strikes out a ton. That's just what it is, right?
But I mean, you see a guy like Owen Miller come up, and he's got good plate discipline, and he showed it in the minor leagues. Wander Franco's got, I mean, you know, there's been guys who've come up here and have had, you know, a good situation like that. Let's continue on here with some of the other newses and noteses, if you will. Stat heroes of the day. Cool Chad, 4 Ks for him in that 6 innings we talked about. Montas being good. Shane McClanahan, 9 Ks, no walks, 1 earned run. Eric Lauer, 5 Ks, win over the Pirates. Look, I think we just troll the Pirates and the Orioles as much as possible here in these next few weeks because they're just bad. Sean Manaea.
Thank you for not saying the Diamondbacks, but also the Diamondbacks.
Well, the Diamondbacks too. Well, I said that yesterday, so I didn't want to keep harping on it. Like, there's such a divide. Them
twice today. It's a double header.
But there's such a divide, Boggs, between the good and the bad.
Yeah,
teams right now in Major League Baseball. It's just so clear on a nightly basis, whether it's wagering or fantasy or whatever it might be. But Sean Manaea, 6 Ks, 2 walks for him in that. Another good start. We love Sean Manaea going into the game yesterday against the Reds. And Nick Lodolo on the other side of that game lost to the Padres, but he did strike out 8 guys. It was a much better outing for him after that first one, which was shaky. 5 innings, 3 earned. The ERA is very high right now. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the strikeouts, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and 5 innings. That's what I care about. If Lodolo is still on the waiver wire, I'd add him, Boggs. How about you?
Yeah, I like Lodolo too, especially for those strikeouts. And I mean, just how great is it seeing Sean Manaea not on the A's anymore and with a solid organization? And hopefully Frankie Montas will be joining him. Yeah, I mean, in San Diego would be great, but just not on the A's roster would also be great. So let's go get this guy some major dubs. So,
all right, we talked about out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm excited for this sell-off for the A's. A lot of good players going to different teams. So
this is true. This is true. We talked about Alvarez, Machado, and Yelich. Then there's Tommy Pham, who finally broke out. 3 for 4 with a home run. He had been woefully behind. He had double in that game too. Jorge Polanco had a home run yesterday, 2 for 5, 4 ribbies. He is priced well too. We'll get to him a little later. Cody Bellinger, another dinger. Cody B through 10 games, 278 batting average, 866 OPS, 3 stolen bases, 2 dingers. Is Belly back, Boggs?
I'm not going to say Belly is back, especially I think his dingers are off of guys that'll be, in AAA at some point in this season.
But I mean, that's baseball too. You're going to have a lot of subpar pitching out there.
It does not matter when you get them, just that you get them. So I'm not going to say that they don't count. They obviously count. But I mean, I think the concerns are still there. I think once he hits if he can go to the end of the month hitting over 250, I'll say he's back. Even if it's only with a couple of homers, I'll say he's back because that's what we want from him at this point. Just don't absolutely tank our batting average. That's what we want. So the upside is still there. Guy's a former MVP, still a great player, just has a little tweaking going on. So let's get it right, Cody.
So here's a question. And again, these were guys who were going back to back basically in ADP. Rest of the season, Christian Yelich or Cody Bellinger as of April 19th. I'm already in May in my brain. April 19th, 2 weeks into the season. I wish, yeah.
Yeah, the black book could be wrapped up by then. I'm going to still say Yelich.
All right, I think that's fair. I probably would lean the same way. All right, let's get to stat zeros. Mike Mayer thinks he's funny. He put Clayton Kershaw on the stat zeros because he didn't throw 5 perfect innings.
Loser. He sucks. Kershaw sucks now. Everybody get rid of him.
4 earned, 7 Ks, no walks, but the 4 earned in the 6 hits and 5 innings against a tough Braves lineup. Ozzie Albies looked good in that game too. Oscar, in that same game, not so good. 5 earned runs. He gave up 4 walks. Gross. Rich Hill, 4 2/3, 4 earned runs. So not a great pitching night for those guys. Kiki, 0 for 5. Kiki Hernandez, 3 Ks. Jared Walsh, what happened, Boggs? What happened? All the stats were there, 0 for 4 and 3 Ks. This is very depressing because I'm glad I didn't go along with you for the depressing ride. But at the same time, I thought this was a lock last night, so we'll take the L here. But what happened to Jared Walsh?
Look, he just didn't look good, and that's baseball too, right? 7 for 11 going in, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Just a rough day. It's all because I switched and picked him for the home run contest because the Nationals got rained out and I couldn't have Soto. So that is the reasoning, and that's all it takes is some little luck thing like that, right?
Yeah, if you want to buy low on Joey Votto, this is the time. 0 for 4, 2 Ks. He started off slow last year too, and then he went on a crazy run here. Now, granted, he doesn't have nearly the lineup protection that he had last year in that lineup with guys like Winker and guys like Castellanos. It's the only caveat I'll throw out there, but 1 for 28 since April 10th. Rest of the 0 for guys with 2 strikeouts, Swanson, Hunter Renfroe, another buy low, and Nick Castellanos. If you can get him low, that's great. But Renfroe, another guy off to a slow start, but I got no worries about him. On the home run board, I'm going to try to get this right here. G.C. Hirsch correctly called Manny Machado's home run. So now he's up at 5 along with Lawnmower Man 4.4 and up and Adam. So that's very good. Oxbury Buck, who called the Freddie Freeman home run yesterday, and 9 others currently have 4 home runs. So I'm still at 1. This is depressing. Boggs is at 1. We'll get to our home run calls in a bit. But first, let's talk about our prop bets of the day. And of course, they're brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sports books. Right now, use that promo code leading off to place your first wager risk-free up to $1,000, and you can download the app. It's very easy to do. And of course, they've got all the parlay options there. You can go to the total bases, all these things that we talk about every single day. They're right there for you. All you have to do is register with BetMGM with that promo code leading off, so they know that Joey P sent you, and you get instant access to a variety of different features, including the player props we talked about, the boosted odds specials, and a whole lot more. It's all at your fingertips at BetMGM. So today, wasn't a great day for the prop bets today. I do like Garrett Cole with the over on the strikeouts on DK, though. He's set at 6.5. I think we're due for a good Garrett Cole start here. I know it's in
Javier
Detroit.
Baez is on the IL, though, Joe. That's 3 strikeouts missing right there. So
yeah, but it's another replacement level guy. So right now we have him projected on FantasyPros at 8.6. You're still getting minus money on this, but I still like it anyway. Bobby Dahlback, who I think with the wind blowing out today, he's a good one too. The total base prop for him is at 0.5 on DK. We have him at 2.26. Wander Franco, if he's back in the lineup. For sure, I haven't checked yet to be 100%. He's supposed to be, but he's at 1.5. And then Aaron Judge, 1.5 on the total basis too. Any of these stick out to you or something else that you saw on the prop bet cheat sheet on Betting Pros today?
No, I mean, I like the Aaron Judge call. Dahlback, if he, I think that's a good one too. Garrett Cole. I'm just the Wander Franco one worries me a little bit because he came out of the game last night. I know he's expected back today. Hopefully he is back. Obviously, lineups aren't out quite yet, but as long as he's in that lineup, I would bet on Franco.
All right, let's talk about some of the starting pitchers tonight for this slate. We have
Your mic.
Nathan Eovaldi at 9.5 on DK. Corbin Burns, 10.5. Framber's 10.2. Joe Musgrove, just 8.6. I want to land there because Musgrove has been an absolute stud. He's been an ace. I don't know why you're getting an 8.6. I don't want to ask questions. I just want to play him everywhere on DK tonight. I don't care if it's cash. I don't care if it's tournament. I'm playing Joe Musgrove. Robbie Ray, I think, will be low rostered after that bad start. I'd like to get back in the Robbie Ray business tonight, 9.8K. It's a nice pairing there with Musgrove. You can make that work if you don't want to go all the way up to Burns. Burns against Pittsburgh tonight. It's hard not to like that in cash tonight. I don't care if it's highly rostered. You do it. Walker Buehler versus Max Fried. Look, I mean, this could turn on you. This has 4 outcomes because you do have 2 very good pitchers. So it could be low scoring, no decisions. Could be one team just beating up on another. So I kind of stay away from going cash tonight. I'm going Corbin Burns, and I'm putting Musgrove together on DK. That's what
the Max Fried one is interesting because when I was looking up PVB data, which I'm going to get to in a little bit here, there's a lot of guys that have tagged Max Fried on the Dodgers. So that one I'm a little shaky about. That's all I wanted to throw in there.
Fair enough. Let's continue on here with some of the pitchers on FanDuel pricing. Nate Eovaldi, again, tough matchup here against Toronto, but just 7.8. Corbin Burns still expensive, 10.8, but worth it in cash. Sorry, I'm just going to continue to harp on that. Joe Musgrove, here's your price variance. Musgrove on FanDuel is 11K. Over on DK, 8.6. So big difference there. Robbie Ray is about the same. He's 9.9. Stacks of the night. I like Houston. I like Milwaukee. I like Boston. That's where I'm going today. Boston against Kikuchi there too. Some good right-handed bats in that lineup. That's what I want to see. Some lineup builders before we get to the BVP guys. Michael Franco is at 3.1 tonight on DraftKings. Jeremy Pena is just 3.2. Again, look for him to move up in that lineup potentially. Bobby Witt Jr., 2.9. Jorge Polanco, just 3.6 on DK. He's a lock for me tonight. On FanDuel, Luke Voit, 2.9. Trey Mancini, 2.5. Whit Merrifield, 2.8. Pena is 2.8 there. Colton Wong at the top of the order on FanDuel, 2.5. Good spot for him against the righty tonight, too. Bobby Dahlback, I mentioned before, 2.6. He is cheap on FanDuel. Frank Schwindel, Bogman's boy, at 2.8. And Yuli Gurriel, 2.7. So a lot of value as usual on FanDuel. So if you're going to go up to Burns tonight, you got Schwindel in the middle of the order. You got Gurriel. You've got Trey Mancini, Luke Voit. There's a lot of power guys in the middle in that 2.5 to 2.8 range. I mean, there's no reason you can't do Burns tonight. It's very achievable, Boggs.
I feel like in the multiverse somewhere, Frank Schwindel and I are moving furniture, right? Like that's our job. So, that is why I'm so connected to him. But yeah, I mean, I'm in for buying Burns for sure. You want me to run through some of this PVB here, Joey?
I do. Let's do it. Give me all the batter versus pitcher data that could possibly help us tonight in the slate.
Xander Bogaerts hitting 500, 3 for 6 off Kikuchi with 2 bombs. As you mentioned before, the reason why you like Eovaldi is because Kikuchi has been great. Bo Bichette, though, 5 for 12 with a bomb against Eovaldi. Victor Caratini, an interesting one. Not sure if he's going to be in the lineup, but against JT Brubaker, he's 4 for 8 with a bomb and a double. So maybe a cheap catcher if you're looking for one. Brian Reynolds, 4 for 11 with a double versus Burns. Some decent matchups against Chris Archer here. Benintendi 5 for 14 with a double versus Archer. Carlos Santana 7 for 18 with 2 doubles versus Chris Archer. My home run pick today, I'm going to go PVB again. Kyle Tucker 4 for 6 with 2 bombs and a double versus Patrick Sandoval. So, he's hitting lower in the lineup than we'd want, but he has a very, very good track record against Patrick Sandoval. Anthony Rendon, 5 for 13 with a homer and a bomb against Framber Valdez. Jared Walsh, 4 for 10, a homer and a double versus Framber Valdez. Of course, I am trusting his PVB less and less as we go on here, of course. Gene Segura, 4 for 9 with 2 bombs against Kyle Freeland. Moustakas 4 for 10 with 3 homers versus Joe Musgrove. Joey Votto, who we said is slow, 7 of 18, 2 homers and 3 doubles versus Joe Musgrove. So 5 of his 7 hits have gone for extra bases against him. And this is kind of the murderer's row for Max Fried here. Max Muncy, 3 for 4 with a bomb and a triple against him. Justin Turner, 5 for 10 with a homer and a double. And Trey Turner, 7 for 21 with a homer and a double against Max Fried. So a lot of these Dodgers bats have seen Max Fried a decent amount of times and have gotten to him.
Yeah, and Max Fried has not gotten off to the start I think a lot of us hope for in fantasy. Wonky Penguin says Frank Schwindel looks like a middle school math teacher. Do you agree with this statement?
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah. But you take him out of that button-up shirt, put him in a wool collared T-shirt, and we're moving furniture together for 2 guys in a car or whatever it is.
2 guys in a car.
2 guys in a truck. Yeah. The
all right, now,
moving company. That's right.
We're going to get to our home run calls of the night. But before we do, I want to talk about some of the leaderboards right now and take a look, because I always think this is a good thing here. We're a couple weeks into the season, looking for things that don't make sense. Right now, one thing that you're not expecting to see is Ji-Man Choi with 2 home runs, 9 walks, 9 strikeouts, hitting .423. He's got a 1340 OPS. That's good for 5th overall Major League Baseball. He's got 3 doubles as well. Now, Choi's been in the league for a while. What do you make of this week or so for him that's been very strong, at least out of the gate? He's got 15 runs batted. Excuse me, not 15, 8 runs batted in, in that span with the 2 dingers. So what do you make of this start for Ji-Man Choi? Is this guy worthy of a corner spot in your 12-team mixters right now?
Probably not. The thing with Choi is that the Rays are obviously playing matchup just every single game. That's why you see the positions flip. That's why you see the order flip and move all the time, is because they match up and they put Choi in a position to succeed. And when he gets going, I mean, that first bomb he hit the other day, I was watching it live. It was an absolute no doubt. It was just one of those where I had the multi games up, like 6 games, and I was just looking at that one. I didn't have the sound on it. And as soon as the ball touched the bat, I was like, whoa, that is way out. And it was, so they just set him up to succeed. But he goes through nice little runs like this at least once a year. I've had this, 16-man AL league AL only, NL only leagues that we do at ITL for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So Choi's a guy that I've rostered a couple times. And when he gets going, I know my week is going to be pretty good. So it's a nice streak, but I'm not going to count on it happening much, much longer.
All right, Tommy Edman has 3 home runs already this year. He had just 11 last season. No stolen bases, ironically, which is why you drafted Tommy Edman for the steals, and you've gotten power out of him instead so far. So this is kind of a curious start to the season. Does this feel like a blip on the radar to you and just a strange anomaly? And if so, for those people who don't really believe in Tommy Edman, this is the perfect time to get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're selling, then yeah, you sell high right now. Obviously, like you said, you wish he'd had like a couple stolen bases in there to go with his 3 bombs. But I think this is a reaction to getting a lower spot in the order from Tommy Edman. He wants to, earn that time. And it's funny to not see, it seems like so much hate the last 2 weeks leading up to the draft for most of us. Everyone started to just hate on Tommy Edman kind of out of nowhere. So it was kind of weird to see. I mean, it was correct because they moved him lower in the lineup. So if you're gonna try to get off of him, I think now is probably the perfect time. If he keeps it up for another week and throws in a stolen base, that would be even better. But I'm not gonna put my eggs into that basket. I'll say that.
And Nolan Gorman was playing second base at AAA, hitting bombs every 2 seconds. Here's a question actually from JP34: Owen Miller or Choi? I assume like rest of season. I go Owen Miller. I did some deep dive on the stats of his minor league career and stuff like that. I think Miller's for real. I don't think this is like a fluky kind of player. I think he could be a nice contributor to your lineup, like nothing special, but just like a nice player. Whereas Choi, historically we've seen, I would say he's kind of a average at best. So you'll have good runs, but really average is almost like you're just kind of crossing your fingers for. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. I think that's a perfect way to answer that question.
All right, let's talk about some guys who are leading the league in strikeouts. It's a little concerning, and I don't mean the pitchers. I mean the hitters. Dansby Swanson's up to 20. Aristides Aquino up to 18. Joe Adell, 17 strikeouts so far in the year We talked about Joey Votto's struggles. Julio Rodriguez, another guy, he's got 16 strikeouts already. So I want to focus on Joe Adell. He's hitting a $176 here. Julio Rodriguez, a $125. Some of these guys we were very excited about. I know it's April, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who are panicking. Now, Joe Adell's shown you a couple of home runs. He's had some moments there, but I think if you were aggressive on these guys in the last week or two before the season, right now you're probably not getting that dividend. So what is your constitution like for players like this that are young and struggling, that you know have huge upside, but it's a redraft league? Are you patient with them? Are you looking to deal them off? Are you looking to just bench them? How do you react to guys like Odell and Rodriguez who still continue to scuffle here in April?
Well, I can tell you definitively I'm not trading these guys, and it's because you are just absolutely not going to get your return on investment back or anywhere close. If you are super annoyed and you have like short benches and you can't, sit these guys on the bench, okay, I get it. You want to get off of them. I understand frustration, but it's too early in the season for that. And if you watch, there's a mashup of Julio Rodriguez strikeouts because he's been struck out, you said 16 times, I believe. 11 of those are called strike threes, and he is getting the rookie treatment from a lot of these umpires where it's way outside. You gotta protect with 2 strikes, kid. You gotta swing the bat, and they call him out. It's ridiculous. He should have been called out on 2 of those. So I'm really not worried about Julio. Joe Adell, yeah, it's a little concerning. There's a little less, there's more guys to take his job, I think. So I'm a little worried about him, but I think strikeouts are part of his game, and they're just not going to go away. So if he hits a couple more homers this week and starts to bring that batting average up to somewhere reasonable, maybe over, well, I mean, if he's hitting over my weight, he'd be pretty good. But, I'm just not worried in the first 2 weeks. It takes me the first 6 weeks is when I start getting worried. But, with the younger guys, they have a shorter leash, so I understand.
They have a shorter leash, and they tend to press a little bit early on too. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. Not everybody comes out of the gate like gangbusters. Before we go to look at some of the pitchers here, here's one from Stu John. He has a question here. Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. Drop Hunter Renfroe for Trent Grisham. Is that a move you'd make? I say no. What say you?
Ooh, yeah, I'd probably do that. Trent Grisham.
You would? Okay.
Solid bat. I like
love
Hunter Renfroe. I like him a lot too. I have him rostered more than I have Trent Grisham rostered in spots, but if Grisham's on the waiver wire, that's a guy that I would drop Renfroe for. That's got to be a 10-man league or something, but yeah, I would do that.
Probably. All right, let's look at some of the pitchers now. Yesterday, it was brought to my attention that we did not mention Andrew Heaney's brilliance to start the season on our podcast yesterday. So let's mention it now. 2 games, 10 innings. 10 innings. But still, 16 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's given up 1 home run, just 4 hits over those 10 innings. Right now, the whip is at .68. And look, I mean, it's been really good. Andrew Heaney's been in the league a long time, and he's shown at times with the Angels. He had moments where you thought, okay, this guy's going to take that next step. Never did. We obviously know what happened with the Yankees. Now he's here with the Dodgers. So do you buy into what you've seen out of Andrew Heaney so far this year? Is it maybe something in the water in LA, or are you maybe looking at this and saying, hey, maybe this is this year's Carlos Rodon type guy that you got for free, and he might end up being one of your best pitchers in your fantasy league?
No, man. This is what Andrew Heaney is. Andrew Heaney is the Twitter date that was the Tinder date that was way skinnier in the photos. So Andrew Heaney was me. I'm using my photos from a while back. So that's what Andrew Heaney is. He looks good. As soon as you roster him, he will absolutely collapse. So no, I have been Tinder swindled by Andrew Heaney on multiple occasions. So no, thank you. I'm fine. So he's playing great now, and there's always a possibility when a guy switches teams that maybe a coaching staff has found something, has unlocked the key. I mean, we saw that Max Muncy was a big one of those. So that is something that could have happened, but I would absolutely not bet on it because I've seen this happen with him before.
All right, Jay Full Metal wants to know Heaney or Zach Gallen rest of the season. Who would you rather have?
God, pass. Zach Gallen.
It's tough. I probably would say I'll take the shot on Heaney in redraft leagues just because he plays for the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks roster is that bad. Like, that is a sad roster. Like, it just hurts my soul when you look at that lineup.
You don't like Cooper Hummel as a leadoff hitter? What's your problem, Joe?
No, I don't. He's no Yonaheim. Let's get to our home run calls of the day. I'm going with Xander Bogaerts tonight, not just because of the BVP numbers. I had already picked him before I even knew what those were, way that's shaping up here against the lefty Kikuchi tonight. So give me Xander Bogaerts, Boston to go yard. Boggs, where are you calling your shot tonight?
I'm going to go Kyle Tucker. Good PVB numbers. And I think it's about time. So let's get me on the board for 2. You only have 1, Joe. Is that right?
I only have 1.
How many does the Welsh
it's
have?
funny.
Does he only
Mike
have 1?
Mayer has selected Alex Bregman, who was the other guy I was thinking about.
Ooh.
So now I'm really rooting against Alex Bregman because I do not.
You're
want
rooting
Alex
against the Astros because I'm going to take Tucker, and I'm only here a couple days a week, Joe, and I'm about to.
Yeah, but you can still make a home run call every single day.
I know.
And so can everybody else on our Discord. Look at that segue. FantasyPros.com/chat. Go join today. Get in there if you haven't already. There's still plenty of time to catch up. Believe me, people go stone cold for a month in these home run calls. It's a lot harder than it looks. All you have to do is be one of our premium members at Fantasy Pros to get involved. We're going to get fabulous prizes. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. We're going to give away a prize in May and June, I think, as well for the monthly leaders. So get in now. Who knows? Maybe even something in April. I can find like a Steve Balboni baseball card to send somebody. But in the meantime, we'll be back again tomorrow at noon Eastern. Again, the Welsh will be back, and hopefully he'll be in a sour mood because that's my favorite Welsh. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm